while there's no secret that the Renault 5 and the Nissan Micra share a huge amount, this is my first time seeing the Micra outside and in a different colour to the blue launch colour, and I must say they look more different than I thought they would. In pictures I don't think it conveys just how different they are. Now they do share a lot of sheet metal, but up front, in the Micra, you've got these big expressive LEDs and they give it a really distinctive face. It doesn't look like the Renault at all up here. It does share a lot with that car, and that's okay. We've already decided that that is a decent electric car, so that's not a bad place to start. But Nissan needs this car. This, despite its name, actually, in my head, replaces the old Nissan Leaf. Now, there is a brand new Nissan Leaf, I hear you say, but that car is moving up in the world in many ways. It's got a bit more interior space, got a bigger boot, it's got a much longer range than before, and we assume it's going to be more expensive. So this is going to be one of Nissan's new entry-level EVs. There's also electric Juke coming, which I think a lot of people will be interested in, but this car will potentially be the answer to the prayers of every existing Nissan Leaf buyer that still want a compact hatchback that is also efficient, affordable and electric. Regardless, you can see from the side profile there, very much like the Renault 5. That's okay, it's a good looking car. Again, it's quite unique back here. This circular motif, or this ovular motif, is repeated. You've got the Nissan word mark across here, and well, it is a compact car. The Nissan Micra always has been, and this carries that on. You see elsewhere on the Complete Car YouTube channel, we already have a detailed static review of this car, or overview of this car. Today, however, is our first chance to get behind the wheel. The test track here is kind of interesting. It looks a bit like a road, but there's no speed limits, which is interesting, so we can get to feel what this car can really do. Anyway, let's go out and have a drive and see how it stands up. See if it does feel a bit like the Renault 5, or has it got a personality of its own. The interior won't be of any major surprise. It's got a Nissan badge here, but this is the exact same steering wheel as you'll find in the Renault 5. And the interior architecture is the same as well. It just does without perhaps the retro detailing of the Renault 5. Some will perhaps miss that. I really like what's on the Renault 5 myself. This will come with three different options, three different interior options. This is the highest spec, so it's got nice materials. All of them are recycled. It might feel like leather, but it isn't. And what else has it got? Oh, it's got a couple of Easter eggs. So in here you'll find, in the rubberized mat, you'll find a Fuji mountain from Japan, a graphic, which I quite like. It's just a few things like that to, you know, differentiate it. Otherwise, it is pretty much the same. With the steering wheel here, we have a lot of stalks on to the side of the steering wheel. You've got the drive stalk, you've got the wiper stalk, and then you've got stereo stalk down the bottom as well. A bit too much for my liking, but you do get used to it, I find. On the left is just the normal indicators and lights. The usual digital screen here in front of us, bit of a shelf in front of the passenger, but it all feels of high quality. Now, like the Renault 5, it isn't huge in the back, but this is a small car. You know, you don't expect it to be absolutely massive in the back. If you want something bigger, maybe wait for the Juke EV. It's coming as well down the line. Immediately, within a few meters, you can tell that this feels exactly the same to drive as Renault 5. Now, Nissan's engineers fully admit that the chassis on this is identical to that of the Renault 5. And some might think, well, then it's just a Renault. Not quite. Nissan and Renault work together on it, and Nissan's engineers are quite a bit protective, I suppose, of their input. And they basically said that Renault's engineers had input, Nissan's engineers had input, and this is the finished result. They both have the same chassis. And really, we shouldn't be complaining. Having driven the Renault 5 extensively, you know, I can tell you that it's great to drive, super to drive, probably more agile and more fun than most cars of its price. And not just electric cars, I might add, of any cars at all, petrol, whatever, or hybrid. It's one of the most fun cars to drive at its price point. Obviously, we don't know the pricing of this yet, I mentioned that, but it can't be too far away from the Renault 5 or else it just won't sell. What else is there to tell you? One thing Nissan has managed to do is eke out a little bit more range, which is a bit cheeky. This wasn't initially announced when the Micra was unveiled, but now the car has been officially homologated according to the WLTP, and with the same battery, the Micra goes a little bit further than the Renault. Not much, but it's a few kilometers. So for instance, the top battery, a 52 kilowatt hour battery, enables a WLTP range of 419 kilometers, which is way more than most people that drive small cars ever need. Even the smaller 40 kilowatt hour battery with a 300 odd kilometer range is probably plenty for most people. And that might be where the smart money goes for somebody who's looking for a relatively affordable runaround, or a second car, or a learner car perhaps, if somebody's going to be learning to drive in an electric car. if somebody learns to drive in this car, they probably won't ever want to go to something else because it is so nice to drive. And I'm just ambling around here, and it's just, the steering's good, the brakes are well weighted, it's got great body control, gives you a lot of stability in the corners and a lot of confidence in the corners as well, as what I meant. And it's just good to drive at normal speeds. And this is something that Nissan seems to be putting into its cars now, because the new Nissan Leaf has the same characteristics where it's just good to drive at ordinary speeds. Now, I will also say though, the Micra has perhaps a more playful side to it. It has less power. This one 150 horsepower to the front wheels, this one. Oh, this is the rough part of the test track. And yeah, it shows that the underlying suspension and special tyres are a little bit firm, but it's not uncomfortable so that you can just hear it at work. But anyway, as I was saying, this is fun to drive. You turn it into a corner, it's agile, it's responsive, it's quick to change direction. The body doesn't flip and flop all over the place. It's just fun. And that's the exact same as Renault 5, sure, but hey, what's wrong with that? Now, I'm not sure if I can give you much of a steer on efficiency, but we have seen in the past that the Renault 5 is capable of very close to its advertised range, and no reason to suspect that this will be any different, to be honest. So really, I'm not sure what it boils down to. Will it boil down to which one you prefer the look of, or will it boil down to pricing, which I doubt that very much. These cars are imported by the same company in Ireland, so they're not going to go at each other from different sides of the building to see who can sell more of one or the other, I don't think. So really, it'll probably boil down to your relationship with your local dealer, or which you prefer the look of. Me, I love the retro detailing of the Renault 5, but this is more distinct looking in reality than I thought it would be, and I think especially in this colour. And really, I'm just happy that there's another affordable, good to drive electric car in the market. It's something we should all celebrate. As I said in the video, it's no surprise that the new Micra drives very similarly to the new Renault 5, and that's no bad thing at all. It's agile, it's fun to drive, and most people don't have a test track like this to try a car on, but they know what they like, and I think they're going to like how the Micra drives. More than anything, however, it'll come down to pricing. This car has to be competitive with that Renault 5 and all of the other new small electric cars on the market. If Nissan can do that, then this is going to be another winner and another Micra that's going to be highly successful. If you want to know more about the new Nissan Micra and all of its electric rivals, pop along to our website. It's CompleteCar.ie, and it's a great resource for finding your next new car.